Hello everyone. I want to tell you a scary, experience you could say. I was always a fan with Keemstar. I love his Jonah Lair series. And when I heard he's going to make a podcast with other big YouTubers like Bookie and Wayne's Digestion, I was pretty excited for that. I love all three of them. In the first few months, it was just a goofy, funny podcast. Everyone gets, hating each other. And they do some crazy skits as well. And talk about random stuff. But when the Fat Camp series starts, Wayne's freak out and puts his wife to the table. The reason he did that because he accidentally said something that he shouldn't be saying, and Keemstar got angry and Wayne just lost his mind. We all know the rest of the story. But the next episode of Olcow, Wayne's wasn't on it. They said he quit it, but he wasn't acting on anywhere. So I was curious, there was Wayne's, what happened to him? But I didn't think too much of that, because maybe Wayne's just quit it, or he just taking a break. Everyone does that. But 2 episodes later, they got someone new, and Rice Dot, I believe that's his name. He was the next host of LOL Cows for a while, and at first, nothing too crazy happened. They were just doing their same old thing. But Rice Dot came to the US to join the Fat Cat series. But the next day, Rice got near came home. He hasn't been seen or saw, and that got some people questioning Bookie and Keemstar, but both of them said Rice got us quitted because he couldn't handle the fans. So he just left. But they found a new guy who was a version. But I don't know too much about that guy. And one time I went on their podcast and calling it. I said, I hope that new guy doesn't leave like those other 2 did. And when the podcast was over, Keemstar DM'd me. He said he loves my humor and he will love to put me on the LOL podcast one of these days. And me being super excited about that, I told him, okay, and thank you for liking my humor, and I could bring a lot of great things to the podcast. And Keemstar, he really likes the sound of that. He just gave me a like, and then he told me if he meets me, he will text me. So I said to him, okay, Mr. Keemstar. And a couple of months go by, and that other guy quit it because Keemstar fired him for something. I don't know what the reason was. But hey, but on the same day, Keemstar texted me and asked me if I be interested to be the next host of LOL Cows. When I heard that, I was pretty excited, and I told Keemstar I would love to. couple of days go by, and one time, Keemstar invited me to fat camp, and I told Keemstar why and I'm going to fat camp because I'm not like Ookie or Rice Dot. And Keemstar said, ha ha ha, don't worry about that. It's on the husk. Just make sure you're there. And I said to him, okay. And I did need to get out of the husk anyways. So when I got to fat camp, things were no. But after we were done with the podcast, Boogie was being extra creepy and whipping and licking his lips. I thought it wasn't too much. I thought it was being Boogie. And Keemstar patted my shoulder and told me I did a really good job. So he took me to a fancy cabin. It has a really comfortable bed in it. And he told me I earned it. And next year I will be sleeping because the next day will be the busiest day out there. So yeah. So he left the cabin, so I just laid down in bed. But I can't sleep that well. It takes me a long time for me to go to sleep. When I'm just laying down in bed, counting sheep, Keemstar came into the cabin with a bag with an axe in his hand. I jumped out of my bed and questioned, like, what is he doing in my cabin? And Keemstar was shocked I was still awake. And he kind of freaked out on me and told me I need to get to bed. I'm going to be tired in the morning. And Keemstar said, don't fuck everything up because I'm doing such an amazing job and it'll be a sin to get me fired. And I told Keemstar I'm sorry, but what's up with the axe in the bag? Keemstar looked at the stuff in his hands. He said he's just drunk and he doesn't know what he's doing and he just walked out of the cabin. So I found it weird and strange because he never drank on that day. I know he's an alcoholic, but he didn't have one alcohol yet. And then I hear voices outside. I can't make it out who it was, but I heard Keemstar freaking out saying that I was still awake and he doesn't want to wait for the next few hours until I fall asleep. And he will only wait until a couple of minutes to come back. But if I'm still awake, it's going to be a massive job. That's what Keemstar said to the person. I can't make it out who he was talking to. So I just hid under the table. A few minutes went by, Keemstar came in with the bag and the axe in his hand, and then he realized I wasn't in the bed. I just got out of the table and ran outside. I ran to the woods super fast. Then I found a cabin. It's an old dirty one. So I went inside of the old dairy cabin and I saw Bookie in it. Bookie stand up and he said, meat. Daddy loves his meat. Ha 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 ha. And I asked Bookie, what the hell is this? Is this like a prank? Because you did the same prank to McJerkinMuckus a couple of years ago. And Bookie told me, oh no boy, this is not a prank. Are you curious what happened to Wings and Rice Gut and that other weirdo? They're in my body! Ha 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 ha! And I realized what happened. Now all this makes sense. And why they disappear like that. Keemstar advised them to Fat Camp, and later at the night, he kidnaps them and feed them to Bukia. And then I was going to run to the door, but Keemstar was standing in the door with his axe and all pissed off and stuff. Look, I could outrun Boogie. He's old and he's not that fast, but Keemstar is more stronger. So I ran to the bathroom, I found a wrench and smashed the window. Keemstar axed the door, and then I jumped out the window before Keemstar gets in the bathroom. Then I just ran super fast. I keep hearing Keemstar screaming at Boogie for letting me leave. And Boogie freaks out saying it's not his fault he's fat and slow. So I just ran until I couldn't hear Keemstar's voice anymore. So I found a 7-Eleven somehow, and I told the workers to call me an Uber or a cab. So yeah, they did, and yeah, I went home and telling the story right now to all of you to hear and listen, like what type of person Keemstar really is. And Boogie is thus his second command. Then I found 2 other people, Becky Boop and Lebowski. Because he was on to Keemstar for a while and trying to expose him. And Becky Boop used to be one of his co-workers. She told me like all the rest of his workers and his girlfriend were just brain rot zombies. Such thing you see in The Walking Dead. And Becky Boop wouldn't allow herself to turn into one of those brain rot zombies. So she left soon as possible, and she was there what happened to Wings. She said Keemstar only gets people who are overweight because they're slower and they're more easy to get. To axe them up and feed them to Boogie. And that's what happened to Wings and those fat camps. They are just a trap. And I was lucky I got out of there easily. When Becky Boop is telling me this, the other guy was there too, listening to all of this and writing everything down to expose and stop Keemstar for good. Oh boy, I hope you guys enjoy this creepypasta. Okay, well, subscribe, like, also go search this video. Okay, well, bye. If you like this creepypasta, tell me in the comments down below. I know creepypastas are not popular anymore, but hey, I could enjoy a horror story once in a while, because why not? Okay, well, bye.